Hello, everyone. Dr. Allen probably noticed I'm in the same shirt. That's because I just recorded our little short lecture for this week. Today is the blogs. I said I would keep it short and sweet, so I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen and tell you what I got. This actually was spurred by a trip to Books a Million, weirdly enough. Excuse me. All right, the site that I want to show you is CIA World Factbook. You may be familiar with it. Actually, let me go back out. I want to go out, not the CIA. Let's go out. Sorry, I'm already like lost my spot. There it is. Sorry, I'm not starting over again. I had to. I just had a coughing fit and had to restart. All right. CIA World Factbook. What this site is basically a bunch of information on every country on the face of the earth. I like this site because it kind of got students out of the Wikipedia, I guess, doldrums. Now, I'm going to give a little disclaimer. I am not really anti-Wikipedia, especially with middle schoolers and high schoolers. I always told them I wanted more resources than just Wikipedia and such, but I always felt like it was a little hypocritical of me when I would look up something and I would go to Wikipedia. And then if I wanted to do a deep dive, I would kind of expand from there. So I would usually allow it. I kind of 360'd that after a few years because it was just, I thought I was kind of fighting an uphill battle. And if it was like a good gateway to get students interested or knowledgeable in a topic and then going deeper, I was pro Wikipedia. Not saying on the college level and you can do whatever you want. This is really nice though because it has more information on countries than Wikipedia ever will. It is the actual CIA. This was spurred, and I kind of mentioned this. I was at Books a Million over the weekend, and they have the CIA World Factbook actually in print form now. They used to not do this, or at least not sell it that I know of. But just to show you, my son had a slap bracelet taken away from him. It's laying on my kitchen table, and that thing's 8 inches thick. I don't know. You can't share this with every student because you'll not be able to get enough copies. That's the beauty of this site. If you look here, there's a lot of different ways you can get to the information. I would check this out. I'll put the link up for you. But I always used to just click flags of the world. Students usually liked flags, and we could kind of look at some. But if you look, let's look at the beautiful country of Botswana. If we hit country, it's got a bunch of different things on Botswana. There's a summary, there's some travel facts, 30 photos of Botswana. And as you can see, there's all of these little plus signs or titles, like an introduction. You hit that, boom. This is though where I think you can really do some deep dives with students. Let's do peoples in society. People in society. So you can see it has the population, nationality, religion, languages. You can have students graph this. There's percentages right there. Median age, there's one right there, population pyramids. I sometimes would take that off if I printed these off and have students create population pyramids if I wanted them to do graph work. So there's a population pyramid of the average age in Botswana. You could also, again, have them graph it or do pie charts. So, and this is just one thing, by the way: drinking water, sanitation, HIV deaths, education, literacy. That was another thing we would also look at, unemployment. And that's just that. And then, of course, then you can get into governments and the types of governments that they have, who's there, where's the capitals. I think you get the point. That's CIA World Factbook. It's a great resource, especially if you're doing country type research or a type of governmental type thing or a modern studies, current events type thing. I actually did it a little bit in 7th grade because sometimes towards the end of the year, we would just do research on certain countries and a little history. If we, no snow days, had a little bit of time, and they would create, actually, I mentioned in our lessons, we would create anchor charts based on countries with certain things that I wanted to see, like average age, animal. That's not on here, but we would do presentations on different countries and might have the animals, average age, type of government, famous people, life expectancy. I think I said average age, but life expectancy, literacy rate, things like that. So CIA World Factbook, check it out. It's actually really cool. Actually, now that I see this, maybe I didn't even hit travel facts. This has been updated. There you go. There's some things if you need to know about traveling. So what type of plugs they take. I think it's actually pretty cool. So, and I think that's one thing with your students. I don't know, especially if you're teaching in West Virginia. West Virginia's, I don't love our standards sometimes the way they're organized because they really don't get world or global type studies until 7th grade, any type of world history. So I think there's a natural curiosity with students with it. But anyway, that's CIA World Factbook. The next resource that you could blog on if you want is, or are, it depends what you want to say, are the giant maps. I mentioned this in another blog, but I couldn't remember if I actually really did a deep dive. So I'm just going to show it to you again real quick if I did, because it's pretty neat, and I may not have. There's a video on it if you want to check it out, but basically I think you'll get the idea. The giant maps are things that you used to be able to rent them from National Geographic. Now you have to either buy them, or I wish we were live. I actually have one. And usually, actually, it's not mine. It's actually the national or the local geographical society actually has it. And we were going to do it for Geography B, and it's a big map of West Virginia. I don't know if you can tell from that image, but those students are, it's massive. I actually rented it when you could rent them. I got in one time, there was one from Europe, and actually Shepherd over at the Wellness Center had one over Africa, and they had a guest speaker over there, and they have different activities that they would have someone run and students would have to do. There's a lesson plan book that comes with it. It's just really cool. Like I say, there is one on West Virginia. I will put the site up, but I want to just show you, because I think Google Images has a better perspective of how big it is. There you go. And look, I mean, that thing is big time, big time. And you're probably saying, well, those look like little kids. They are little kids. I took my middle schoolers over, though, and they loved it. Like, there were things where they had to find countries in Africa, especially if you followed the lesson plan book and you have to have them locate things. Like I say, I have one on West Virginia. If you're ever interested in checking it out, there's one on Africa. And you can see it's on a gym floor. They're massive. They're really cool. The one in West Virginia, I can tell you which room we set it up in. It was room 112 in Canute last year. It took up the whole floor. We had to all step out in the hallway. You have to take your shoes off. Then we went in and we designed like different types of lessons and such that we could potentially do with it. If you look here, you know, a lot of times there's a lot of measurements, a lot of latitude and longitude type things, and you'll have students look for them, but there's one on South America. So anyway, that's the giant map. It's a little tricky to get them now. You have to usually borrow them. Sometimes libraries have them, but we do have one locally on the state of West Virginia. And if you do teach West Virginia studies, which I know just talking and passing to some of you, you would be interested in doing, they'll loan it out to you. It's just you have to sign a contract to make sure that you're going to take care of it, fold it back up, and not tear it and things like that. Those are our two resources. You can pick either one to blog on. You can blog on both. Again, only a sentence or two. Don't strain yourself too much on it. But I really like World Factbook if you're doing research on countries. It's just got a lot of neat stuff. And students, I think graphing is actually a good skill to do in social studies. And sometimes if you just pick something in a country to have them do it, or do a compare and contrast or a pie chart, it's really neat. Like I say, I mentioned those anchor charts. You could do tons of anchor charts just off of data off of CIA World Factbook. So check them out. Pretty neat, especially that fact book. I'm going to stop sharing. Hope you're having a great day. It's been a long day. I've recorded. I think it's dark outside. It's crazy. So I don't know. I had to move downstairs, like I said in the other lecture, to my kitchen because the lighting upstairs in my office was terrible. So I'm just going to go ahead and call it a day, eat a frozen pizza. Well, I think I said that same thing in 380 if you're in that class. Now I really am. I will talk to you later. Have a great week.